All right. So, Magic, I wanted to ask you about stats because I don't understand things like strength, for instance. If my character has 17 strength, say I'm a halfling, what is the maximum weight that I can pick up with that? How is that calculated? I don't understand. I've never understood, and I may not understand after it's explained to me.
It's actually not that bad. It starts off with, first of all, is the numbers are completely arbitrary to what they are associated with. I mean, it starts off with every 2 pounds for every strength, but then it goes up to 5 and stuff like that. Let's back up though a little bit.
Okay.
Strength has three things that it focuses on as far as your character directly. Forget about combat. Let's not worry about that at the
All right.
moment. It will adjust your hit dam. It will adjust your carry weight, and it will adjust your maximum weapon weight.
So, how with the hit dam, like how much does it? When does it start affecting your hit dam? Does it affect it like every point, or is it like every 2 points? You may get like one extra hit dam.
It's okay. We'll run through these a little bit. I'm not going to go into
Okay.
it. I mean, these full numbers are on the wiki. I've put them on the wiki, so
Oh, okay.
they're there if you need them. To start, well, there's two things concerning hit dam. One is hit roll anyway. I don't know where the damage roll is diminishing returns is the breakpoint for that is. But hit roll, you have two breakpoints. You have 25 and 50. So whatever you get from strength will also be affected by the diminishing returns. It at the end of the day, if you've got 50 hit roll, it doesn't matter if you're a halfling or a fire giant. 50 hit roll is 50 hit roll.
Right.
It does mean, however, that your giant with 25 strength or your fire giant with 25 strength will get 12 hit roll and 14 damage roll from strength, which means they need fewer pieces of equipment to get to the 50, but 50 is 50.
Right.
You'll start seeing hit dam at 10 strength. It's
At
not
10.
much.
And there's
It's 1/1 each, but you start seeing bonuses to hit roll and damage roll at 10th level. 14 strength, you have one hit roll, two damage roll, and it just goes up incrementally from there. Your average, and I'll hit the 20 mark the most. The average, quote unquote, the average is whatever human. They get +4 and +6, so 4 hit roll, 6 damage roll, just for being human at 20 strength. So
and
far,
when you does the strength modifier, like if I've maxed my strength out and then I have that like +4 modifier to strength, that only applies that's only there as like a buffer for if I got
yes,
weakened or something like that.
yes.
Okay.
So if you've got max strength, then any plus strength gear you have just counteracts negative strength stuff, debuffs, whether it's from other pieces of equipment or from like poison. It will not affect anything as far as strength is concerned over your racial max.
Right.
But it's nice to have a buffer. I mean, you have that ninja with shadow arts, and he hits you with poison, and you're plagued now, and now you suddenly got -11 hit strength, and you don't know how.
Yeah.
So it's good to have a little bit of a buffer. Anyway,
Oh, absolutely.
so the other thing is you have, okay, so that's the hit dam for strength. You have carry weight. Now everybody has 125 pounds that they can carry. Plus, that's just from leveling. So you'll get 2 points from second level, and then 3 points, and then 2 points, and then 3 points, and they'll alternate all the way up to level 50. So that's just the bonus weight that you are able to carry from levels. The other part comes from your strength. And this is the numbers on the wiki. So if you've got 1 strength, you can carry 140 pounds. if you've got 6 strength, you can carry 140 pounds, and that number actually won't change until you are at 15 strength. So 14 strength is 140 pounds, 15 strength is 150. This is on top of the 125 that you get from levels.
Mm.
So that 150 from your 15 strength and the 125 from your levels gives you a grand total of 275 strength, or 275 pounds that you can carry around. It's nice, but you don't usually need to worry about it as much unless you're a low strength race or a battle mage. Battle mages that want to carry 2 dancing weapons, 1 magic, 1 mundane, are looking at in the area of about 80 pounds that they need to carry around. So yeah, that kind of adds up quick.
Yeah, that adds up quick. That does add up.
But at the same time, you've also got things like quivers, where it reduces the entirety of anything inside the quiver to 0.
Where does one get this quiver?
Everwild. Nope. No. Yeah, Everwild. From the shop, from the bear there.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah.
It's only 50 items that you can put in each, but you can put anything in.
Yeah.
Well, anything non-rare. So those 50-pound gothic plates that you want to sit there and farm from the Essence of Evil for some strange fucking reason, you want to put 50 of them into your quiver, they won't weigh a damn.
Is that intended? Like, is that item? Do you think that's intended to do? Be used like that, or is that something that?
I don't know if it was put in because they thought it was a 0% weight reduction, or if they knew it was 100% weight reduction. As in, they didn't know if it was weight reduction or weight 2. So if you've got something that weighs 100 pounds, they might have thought that it was reduced by 0% or 0%. So
yeah, not reduced to 0%.
Exactly, which is how it actually reduced to 0%. So so things like the portable hole, for example, you've got it can carry up to 9,999 pounds, which after the 50% weight reduction means it's closer to 18,000. Nope, sorry, 20,000. Too shy from that. So yeah, it can carry up to 20,000 pounds effectively, but you'll only have on your character 10,000. You can.
Oh, wow.
We're not going to go into that right. But yeah, I mean 9,999 items as well. So portable hole, good job. Except it's 50% weight reduction, so it's kind of.
Can you put the quiver in the hole?
No. Anything with weight reduction on it cannot be put into another item with weight, or actually into any container at all. So even though you have a travel bag, which does not have any weight reduction at all, you cannot put a quiver into the travel bag, but you can put a travel bag into a quiver.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
What I used the portable hole for on my Ranger, for example, was my copious amounts of arrows. So I'd make a shit ton of arrows and I'll throw them in my portable hole. They don't weigh anything, so I've got 9,000 stacks of arrows that I can.
Jeez.
Yeah.
God, you're ready for war, huh?
You gotta be a bored motherfucker to actually put up that many arrows, make that many arrows.
Yeah, definitely.
But what I was saying is I would have a portable hole on characters such as that, so I could have all my stuff there. Plus, on top of that is I will always have that portable because it's no draw.
Right. The portable hole is one of my favorite items in the game, to be honest with you. I feel better about my character when I have that.
So do I, but if I'm also partial to my quivers because of the whole weight reduction thing. So if you got rid of the vast majority of weight reduction, whether you capped it at -50 or whatever, that would actually give even more value to the hole itself.
Which I don't think would be a bad thing because the hole is a rare item. You know, is that quiver rare? Can you just buy the fuck out of that quiver?
Yes, yes. You can have as many quivers as you can physically put on your character. So,
Yeah.
effectively, for let's say, I think a halfling, you can do like up to 47 quivers. It does mean that you're not going to have literally any other piece of equipment, but you can do it.
Get a PK with nothing but quivers.
That's right. Would you know what? Even on the telekinesis side, that still is shitty because you want the weight of the items you're throwing.
Right.
Coincidentally, you can sit there and you can take something like a travel bag and you can fill that with 200 pounds worth of shit, put that into a quiver, and then as you might take it out and then throw people. Yeah, anywho. The last, the last thing is strength, which is what you wanted really to know to begin with.
Yeah.
Weapon weight.
What?
It works as this. Anything that weighs below 18 pounds, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's 0 pounds or if it's 17 pounds, 17.99 pounds. Let's go ahead and, yeah, but for all intents and purposes, anything under 18 pounds cannot be disarmed through dropping your strength. So that Shadow Arts Ninja that's poisoned and plagued you and blah, 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 and has dropped you all the way down to 3 strength, which is the absolute minimum your strength can go. No weapon under 18 pounds can be disarmed that way. It can be disarmed through other means, whether disarm or cleaved or weapon seized or anything along those lines. Yeah, that's fine. But as far as strength, you'll never lose those weapons. So, like the pit spear is like 5 pounds in its final form. So you can main hand that if you want. With the downside of the fact that it is so light, so you want an even lighter offhand. But that's beside the point. Where it starts to get interesting as far as weapon weight is concerned is we start at 4 strength. Now, at 4 strength, anything you can hold up to anything up to 18 pounds for that. So, which is where all your other stuff comes. Ooh, hold on. Yeah. Back it up just a little bit. Hold on.
Okay.
Retraction a little bit. If you've got 3 strength, anything that weighs 0 pounds cannot be disarmed that way. You need something. Yeah. If you're 4 pounds, anything up to 18 pounds, you can wield. So, yeah, anything up to 18 pounds. The next weight is 16 strength, which you can wield up anything up to 20 pounds. And there's that huge jump there, and I don't know why they have it that way, but literally 4, 5, 6, 7 strength, all the way up to 15 can only hold up to 18. Which is why whenever you examine an item and it says you must have this much strength in order to carry it, you will never see an 8 strength or a 10 strength on there because it's either 4 or 16 plus because of the way the table works. And that's really all it is. I mean, 20 strength, you have the 38 for max weapon weight is you can carry or you can wield anything up to 38 pounds. This includes what sockets they have inside. So, for example, if you are Mr. Human at 20 strength and you have an item that weighs, you have a sword that weighs 38 pounds. It's probably not going to be a sword. It's called.
Big ass sword.
And this thing is 38 pounds, but it's socketable. So you decide that you want to put a topaz or a muddy bauble. I know you can't do it into weapons, but that's not the point. You put a bauble into it. A bauble weighs 8 pounds, so now that weapon weighs 46 pounds. You can't wield it with a. In fact, you can't even wield it with a 22 strength because 46 is more than 20. So 22 strength can only hold up to, or can only wield up to a 45-pound object.
Is there a formula for figuring out the weight? I mean, obviously there is, but like,
No,
what is there like? Oh, there's not.
no, because okay, from 4 to run this through real quick. This is on the wiki too. From 4 to 15 strength is 18 pounds. 16 strength is 20 pounds. 17 is 24. Then 28 pounds. 32, 38, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So it's weird because it goes up by 2, which is fine. Then it goes up by 4, and 4 again, and then 4, and then 6, and then 2, which is the oddest thing I've seen there so far. So the from 20 to 21 pounds is only a 2-point jump or a 2-pound jump, whereas all the ones before usually are 4.
I
So
wonder why that is.
I don't know. It's arbitrary. I think the main reason is because of the way it was originally coded. You wanted, they had the 18 strength there for the vast majority of weapons, and most low strength races can do that, and it prevents you from being disarmed for anything under 18, unless you get really uber low. For practice and trainings, it's kind of fail safe, which is why there probably is a buffer between 15 and 4 strength. And then it goes up relatively quickly after that because you get stronger weapons, and you have the vast majority of races, normal size races, within that range between 14, 15. Well, 14 strength is a fairy, but 15, 16 strength to 20 strength is the vast majority of medium races and other races. Gnome, for example, even though they're small, they have an 18 strength. Then you hit the sweet spot with the humans. They either have a 20 strength or a 21 strength, and right there is where they get the extra bits from. And then after that, for all the giants, they then go up by 2 points each, or 5 points each. So it's 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And it could very well be that this jump from 20 to 21, being only 2, was only to make 21 a nice round up. And then you can go up by 5 increments there. So that's all it is. This strength can only get up to, only wield a certain weight, up to a certain weight.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Okay, so it's just a little sliding scale kind of
Yes.
chart thing. I thought there was some kind of abstract mathematical formula that I just couldn't comprehend. I've thought that for years,
No.
and I've been proven wrong today, and that's incredible.
Now, the other thing for that is, while you can wield, say, as a 16 strength, a 20 pound weapon, this also goes for shields too, by the way. So if you're ever wondering why you're carrying a shield and you put a bauble onto it, this is definitely where the bauble comes in. And you wonder why you can't do it anymore, it's because the bauble adds the weight to it, and you can't wield the shield anymore. I think that worked for... I think that was with my human. What is the weight on... Give me a sec. I'm trying to find the... It better not be accurate. What's the weight on the...
You're listening to the Forsaken Podcast, live on SoundCloud. Well, I guess not live anymore if you're listening to it on SoundCloud. Shout out to Fat Mike. Yeah, I've always been curious about these stats, man, because I think there's more to it. But I want to know what's behind the scenes of the stats. I want to get into intelligence next.
Okay, well here let's take the monstrous slab for example, and this has happened on a couple of my characters before, so I've been kind of curious as to what happened there. Where'd it go? So the slab weighs 20 pounds, and if you have 16 strength, which a number of characters do, you can hold the slab, but you cannot unless you have a 17 strength. And as soon as you put that bauble onto it, you can't carry it. It goes up to 28 actually, because of the bauble weighing pounds. 10 pounds. Bubble weighs 10 pounds. That's what it is. So there you are. If you've got monstrous slab, 20 pounds, add the bauble onto it, 10 pounds, it now weighs 30 pounds. The only people that can carry 30 pounds is those of 19 strength, because they can carry up to 32 pounds. 18 strength can no longer carry it. So tough shit for all you gnomes and below that have 18 strength. You cannot carry a slab with a bauble on it. You can put
So an avian can carry it, right? 19 strength.
Yes. But as soon as they take even 1 point of strength debuff, it's all over.
It's gone. Yeah.
So yeah, good time.
Avian Shield Warrior coming up.
Well,
Avian Shield Warrior with a slab.
Basically, it's just if you ever wonder why you can't carry it, check your if you can't carry an item, be it weapon or shield, and you wonder why, because you could earlier, you could before, check your socket.
Right.
Which is also why with the battle mage, the socket does help with the weight for their. And now, I'm happy to grab an ear and put it on to a lot of things because that adds 20 pounds.
Right. Does the strength modifier, like if you have like, you max out your strength and you have like the +4, +5, whatever, that +5 won't affect you being able to carry heavier weight, right?
Correct.
Do you feel that it should?
No, because your race can only have so much strength.
Mm-hmm.
Your race can only have so much dexterity, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
If you did do something like that, you'd have fairies walking around with 25 everything. Do you really want to
Fair point.
fairy?
Well, you know what? I'm not sure, because if they were carrying something that heavy, that means they were like maybe trying to melee, and that doesn't help their HP out. Although I guess I could see that being an issue for if it worked with Constitution and they were getting like 50 HP, 11,
Yeah,
I see that being an issue.
That, and they'd also be able to carry an extra 500 pounds.
Yeah,
25
true that.
to 500 pounds plus the 125 from level. So, there's your 625.
God, can you imagine a fairy with like 2,000 HP?
Jesus Christ, no.
Yeah, that'd be fucking brutal, dude. A fairy invoker walking around with like, it's just like jacked. His muscles are like ripping through his little fairy outfit or whatever they wear. They wear like tutus or something. It's like, there to crush skulls.
Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, that's horrible. And I'll touch on some of the Constitution stuff in just a moment. Intelligence. Intelligence has 3 modifiers on that as well. In fact, most of these do, except for dexterity. And of course, I'm not getting into stuff like parry checks and dodge and shit like that, which is affected by various stats. So we're just focusing on what these stats do to you as a character just standing there. Essentially. Okay, intelligence. This is what everybody wants to boost in order to practice stuff. Primarily, it's got that. So everybody can practice at least 20% per practice. So every time you hit practice, you will add at least 20% onto your proficiency. Meaning when you first get a new skill, you go to your guild master. If you've got 1 intelligence, every single practice you do will increase by 20. So it'll be 1, 21, 41, 61, and then you hit the cap after that next practice of 75. For the higher intelligence races, I mean, it goes all the way up to at 14 intelligence, you've got 28% per practice. So 129, 56, 57, and so on and so forth. And that's all fine and dandy until you get to 23. If you've got 23 intelligence or higher, in this case, it's basically elves, illithids, and gnomes. You can one practice everything to 75. Even though in the code it says 100%, if you took off that limit there, that's what you would get to. So you'd be able to go straight to 100% if you had 25 intelligence and there wasn't a check in the code saying you can only go up to 75. So literally 1 prac on everything with 23 intelligence or higher. Everybody else needs at least 2. But if you've got 22 intelligence, which I don't think anybody does.
23? I thought once upon a time gnomes had, or don't gnomes have 23?
Gnomes have 23. They've got 25 wisdom. And illithids are the other way around. They've got 25 int and 23 wisdom.
Yeah.
But yeah,
fairies,
I mean,
what do fairies have? Do fairies have 25?
Actually, I'm pulling up my other thing. There are more races than I thought. Gnomes are 23, Drow are 24, illithids and fairies are 20. Illithids, fairies, and elves are 25. So there's 5 races that can 1 prac straight off. Everybody you could 1 prac regardless. I mean, you could take your fire giant, which has a 15 int maximum, and 1 practice that. It does that mean with you'll get 30 an additional 32% per practice you put into it, which means in order to get to 75, you need at least 3 from a fire giant. But that doesn't mean it doesn't mean you can't take the 32%, 33% because of the initial 1, and go out and beat some scarecrows or whatever.
Yeah. Kill scarecrows at like level 2 with a fire giant wielding anything.
It's effectively how much you can get per practice and then how much additional practice you need. So for those 5 races, it's not much else. But for all the lower int races, it's a whole lot more that you need to put into it, whether it's additional practices to get to the 75 or if it's to go out and just start beating on shit. Which actually brings us to the next bit, the intelligence, the learn, how much you gain per point. The way that works, and I'm a little foggy as to the exact specifics on it, but you need to either succeed or fail a given number of times per percentage to raise to the next percent. If you fail, you will get it higher. You get a bonus. I don't know how much that is. It could be 50% bonus. It could be a full 100% bonus. I'm also fairly sure that it's either done by skill or also based on how much mana it is, because some of those things are quite expensive. I think it's by skill, which is where the actual stuff comes into play. But anyway, int will affect that. So 0 to 9 intelligence will do 5. Then you got 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 25, which has 14. Which means, I think, that let's say you need 1 to get to level 2, and then 2 to get to level 3, and 3 to get to level 4, and so on, all the way up to 99 to get to 100. It means that with the 21 int, you can get 10 per success, per failure, whichever one, and then the bonus for whatever. So it would take you 1 to get to level to get to 2%, and then it'll take you another 1 to get to 3%. Actually, no, I take that back. It should be that is you get 10%, so you'll have the 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10. So you'll go from 2 to 4% just like this. And then it goes on to that to where if you're at 99%, it will take you 10 goes, 10% in order to get up. I do believe. Like I said, I'm a little foggy. But yeah, basically it turns out to the more intelligent you are, the faster you train.
Sure. But does intelligence now it affects your natural mental save or something, doesn't it? Like if you are, it's easier to dispel a fire giant than it is to dispel a drow.
Yes, but you've got multiple things in play with that. Namely, the fact that fire giants have a mental wall.
That's true. Don't all giants?
Yes, they do.
Is that, see, and that leads me to think, like, is lower intelligence, well, so I'm trying to think of what has a low, like, okay, like a Slith has pretty low intelligence.
Yeah, they do.
But it doesn't have a mental vulnerability.
No.
Would it be easier to dispel a Slith than it would a fairy?
Yes. But again, there's a couple things going in with that. Is it? I think it is int with that.
Because I've always been under the impression that higher intelligence means it's harder to land mental spells on them. Yes. I don't know where I got that info or if it's true, but it seems, it adds up in my head. Like, it makes sense,
Yeah, I understand. Where's the help out for this?
Can you hear those sirens in the background? There's crime going on.
I hear that. Oh, that's giant strength. I don't want giant. Or strength.
Yeah, because I always play higher intelligence races anyway, just because I don't like having to train stuff from low. Like the one practicing, like training a fire giant from one practice is it's nauseating. It's better now, since they up training and all that. Like you can go hardcore and all that, and it makes it better. But it's like it's still a beating, man, and I don't like that.
It is. It's rough, but it can be done.
Yeah. By the time I'm done training it, I don't want to play the character anymore. Like I'm done with it. At that point, like I played, it's like I've had enough. You got like 500 hours by the time you're finished. No, I'd rather play the educated, hardcore Illithid, and get, you're learning things at a rate of like, it's going up like 3% every time you type the command,
Oh my god. Rolled a squid necro hardcore relatively recently.
Yeah, it's insane how fast it learns. It's insane.
I was basically fully trained by level 35.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even have to do anything. It's just there.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It was absolutely nuts. And yes, high intelligence will affect resistance.
Really? Good.
Confirmed. Well, that being said, strength has a little bit too. Well,
really?
Well, it's afflictive saves.
Strength does?
Yeah, yeah. Strength is afflictive, so it'll give you a
Makes sense.
bonus in that regard.
Weird. I wonder why it's on that Constitution.
I lied a little bit with intelligence. Intelligence has two more things, and I will lump those in with wisdom at the moment.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to go with now. Wisdom.
Okay.
You
Wisdom.
have three things that it covers. You've got the number of practices you can do. So you kind of want that high. You've got various breakpoints on that. I haven't seen anybody with a lower than a 14 wisdom in a long time, unless they happen to get you had a parakeet nearby?
You'll never guess in a million years what this sound is. You can try, but you will fail.
Oh, possibly. I mean, it could be anything from a squeegee to some sort of turtle.
Nope.
So I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah, that's a low wisdom score right there. If you had high wisdom, you would have got that.
Or just exposure to it.
Sure.
Okay, so I haven't really seen anything below 14 wisdom because we've got our max stats at 14 now, or minimum stat whenever you roll a character. It used to be 8, now it's 14. So you've got your 14 wisdom, unless you happen to throw on minus wisdom gear, which there isn't too many of. There's a couple, but not much. You're essentially going to get one practice per level minimum. 15, you get 2. 18, you get 3. 22, you get 4. Of course, there isn't a 22 race. And then 25 wisdom is the only wisdom with 5 practices per level. Yay, no.
Yep, shout out to gnomes.
That's right. Okay, and now we get into what intelligence and mana, or intelligence and wisdom both do for you, and that is mana and mana gain. So depending on what your intelligence is at, depending on what your wisdom is at, you get that much mana per gain.
Really? I thought mana gain was tied to intelligence. It's tied to wisdom.
It's tied to
That's
both.
what you're telling me. Okay.
It's tied to both. So if you've got a 20 int, you get 3 mana per level. If you've got 20 wisdom, you get 3 mana per level, which means that your 20 wisdom character is going to get at least 6 mana per level. And this is kind of set in stone. This is a bonus on top of your race or your class.
Yeah.
So if we go back into, actually, that being said, you've got effectively 3 types of characters, excluding the quest racism.
We won't be getting into those.
No, we're not. You've for mana, how mana's concerned, you've got 3 different types of classes. You have a caster, you have a semi-caster, and you have a non-caster. All casters will get anywhere between 6 and 12 mana per level, which are your battle mages, your clerics, your healers, your shaman. Anybody who's kind of a hybrid, this is adventurers and bards and dark knight and paladin. They all get anywhere between 2 and 8. And then berserkers.
So there's class augmentation. I didn't really, I realized that, but I didn't realize that.
Berserkers, blade masters, thieves, warriors, they get the lowest end of the stick at 1 to 4 per, but this is also on top of their intelligence. So if you had, for example, a fairy blade master, you would get 1 to 4 for being a blade master, and then a fairy has 25 int and 20 wisdom. The 25 int will give them 7, the 20 wisdom will give them 3, so that's another 3. So you're looking at 11 to 14 per level. Now, the other thing int and wisdom do is they are directly attributed to mana gain.
Mana gain being how much you recover while you sleep,
Well,
or
sleep,
just in
well,
general.
and
Yeah,
yeah, you get
mana
bonuses.
regen.
Yeah, you get bonuses for sleeping. You don't get bonuses for, well, you get a bonus for rest. Then we've got 2 more stats to go.
Yeah.
One is Dex. Dex is fairly easy.
Dex.
It gives you it gives you 2 things. It gives you how much AC you get as a bonus, and that starts at 15. So fairies don't get it. Oh, actually, I take that. Here I am sitting there thinking fairies have the 14 Dex. They do not.
Yeah, they do not. They have way
No.
higher Dex.
Yeah, they do. Storm giants and fire giants are the lowest Dex, period, which is at 16. So unless you get a debuff, you're going to have at least minus 15 AC. Now, what that means is your AC starts at 100, positive 100, and works its way down. The further down, the better. This means that a absolutely naked giant that I had said before, fire giant or storm giant, will have 85 AC. Everybody else gets higher.
Yeah.
Halflings with 25 will will have an AC of 120. So
just
that
naturally standing there in the buff.
Yeah. So they will start off with when they're completely naked, minus 20, which is huge.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
So fresh rolled character, throw it all into Dex. You've got 25 Dex. You now have minus 20, which is. And last but not least, we have Con. Con does.
Well, hang on, wait a minute. Wait. I got a couple of Dex questions.
Oh, wait, no, Dex does one more thing, and that's how many items you can carry. I do not know how that works into it. But a higher Dex character will have more items that they can hold on. So
now, what about, aren't some defenses tied to it also?
Yes, but like strength, which also has defenses tied to it, I'm not going to get into it.
Okay.
Because there's a lot. The main things that you should know as far as those are concerned is strength is dodge and Dex is parry. Why?
Gotcha.
I don't know. But
I don't either.
It would make sense that it would be Dex for parry and maybe strength to dodge. But he changed that.
Well, I see Dex being dodge and strength being. I can see strength being parry. You know, because like you have to have the.
I can see strength being block. But parry, in order to parry something, you're deflecting it away from you. So you kind of have to have at least a little bit of finesse.
Yeah, but if you're like if you're like a gnome or something and a giant swinging a two-handed axe at you, regardless of how well you get your weapon in there to deflect it, he might swing all the way through that. You know, I can see it being a strength check on one player's end or on both players' end to see if you can even withstand, you know, the blow. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a lot to go into it. Yes.
Yeah.
But
as it stands right now, you're saying dodge is strength and Dex is parry? Is that what you're saying? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Right now? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he changed it the other way around. There was an uproar. He reverted it back. Good.
And that's because of mages, because mages don't have dodge. They only have parry, so they need to have. Most mages have, or so I say most. If you're playing like an elf or a drow, something with high dex, you need to be able to have defenses while you're a caster.
Yep.
So I can see why it was changed.
This is also why they have parry capped at 105. So yeah, more good times. And last but not least is Con. Con has 3 things on that too. One's behind the scenes. Basically, for the behind the scenes is it helps you against maledictions. Much like strength does afflictions and intelligence does mental. So, yay.
Is that it? Is it just maledict? So okay. So really, each spell save kind of has its own has its own stat to kind of go with it, right? Kind of
Yes, sir.
naturally supplement it. Okay.
If breath has one, I don't know what it is. If it were me, it would probably be Dex, just because.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Um,
gotta miss me with that bullshit, you know? I'm dodging. I'm
yeah,
dodging your.
yeah, but at the same time, I mean, it's sound. It's omnidirectional.
That's true. That's very true. But if I have the dexterity to cover my ears, you know.
Yeah, but it's generally focused in one direction, regardless of what instrument you're playing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I mean, take a tuba. It's going to go away from the tuba rather than if you're behind it, it won't be as loud. That's the
Right.
only thing. But I mean, otherwise,
You will still feel the tuba whether or not your ears are covered. You will feel the power of the.
exactly. So con gives you two more things. One, and this is the one that most people see the most, is hit points per level.
Yeah.
You get a bonus starting at 15, or yeah, you get a bonus starting at 15, and it goes 1 point at 15, 2 at 18, nope, 2 at 17, sorry, 3 at 19. Then you have 20 to 25, or 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, respectively. Last but not least is shock. Now, shock's a little funny. I've only found one instance where shock actually comes into play. There could be more. I haven't found it. I don't know. If somebody wants to tell me, great. But this is in with Berserkers specifically. Anybody else that has it? I don't know. So what this does is Berserkers. I'm sure you've seen, when a Berserker comes off rage after killing something, how it goes. Looks stunned, but probably will recover from the madness, blah, 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 whatever it was.
Yeah. Right.
See, what that is usually when people lose hit points, they die. And once you hit minus 11 or more, you're dead. You're dead. So long as you are in the single digit negatives, you are wounded and you will slowly bleed to death unless something helps you, whether it's
Right.
a move ban or heal or whatever. Berserkers are kind of a special case. Whenever they rage, they gain hit points. That's one of the things that they get on top of all their other bonuses and whatnot. But they gain hit points, and whenever they snap out of this rage, they lose those hit points. Actually, same goes with Berserk, but I don't think Berserk has a shock roll on. They might. I'm gonna have to double check. But I know when Berserkers come off rage, this is checked into.
Mm-hmm.
What it is a Berserker can get okay. I think a Devastation Berserker can get 400 hit points just by raging.
Jeez.
Yeah, it is. If they lose, or if at the end of the fight they are below 400, it doesn't matter if they are at 1 hit point or 399, they will then be in the negatives. And they'll actually roll on the shock table. And what this does is if you roll lower than the number, you're toast. Which is why sometimes you will snap out of your rage and be stunned, and other times you'll snap out of rage and just fucking die.
Okay. So you're rolling kind of a save there, like a death save, if you will.
Yes.
In that shock time. Okay, I see.
And what this is anything above a 21 con will get a 99% save. So you've got a 1% chance of just carking it straight up. If for some reason your con dropped, whether it's by item, by spell, or from taking too many deaths, you're kind of boned. So I mean, every 5 deaths you lose 1 con point, and let's say you lose 50, so now you've lost 10. if you had a 25 strength or 25 con, you're now at 15, and now you've got an 80% chance of dying when you snap out of rage, or 80% chance of living when you snap out of rage. 20% chance to die.
So, over 21 con, you have a 99% chance to survive that death save. But if you drop under 21, it drops down by what? By what percentage?
This too is arbitrary because it goes from 21 to 20, it goes to 97, then 95, 90, 88.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where 88 came from. Then 85, and then it kind of, and then it goes down from 5 on. It's kind of like they went from one to the other and then kind of met in the middle.
Yeah.
Because from 0 is supposed to be 5, and then 10, 15, 20, and it goes all the way up to 85 at 16. But then they kind of work their way from 99, 99, 99, 99, 97, 95, 90, and just kind of met in the middle. Like, oh shit, I got stuff in the middle here. What am I going to do with this?
Right. Yeah. What are you going to do with it? So after you die, after you lose con from death, I mean, you got to retrain that, right?
You
Gotta
can.
get that con back. Do you think that's like super important? Do a lot of people like, is that common practice? I'm not sure, because I always do. I always train it back up if I can, but I mean, hell, how do you get the trains to even train it back up? How do you get your con back?
A lot of people are in cabals when they do it anyway. Just spend CP for it.
Oh yeah, that's very true. Very true. But if you're uncabaled, you're kind of SOL on that whole thing, aren't you?
Yes, you are. Although you can spend RP for it now. But this is usually why I tend to have like 5 trains in my pocket whenever.
Right. And those aren't trains that you got from going adventurer, right?
That's right, Bob. Yeah, I mean, those extra 2 trains just it's too much work.
Yeah, use those for the 10 deaths or whatever.
Colin, the other thing it helps is directly with hit gain. So that
by hit gain you mean HP regeneration?
Yes.
Or hit gain? Okay, gotcha.
Yes. So yeah, that 14 fairy, that 14 string or con fairy isn't going to be regenning much, which is a drawback for having a fairy.
Yeah.
Sure, you can take your health into mana, but then you're going to have a hard time regenning health.
Right.
And that your dwarves, which have 25 con, and they tend to regen quite a bit.
Do they? I played maybe one dwarf ever, and I don't know if I really noticed the regeneration. I mean, I know one time I rolled a healthy ogre berserker, and that son of a bitch was getting back. I think they may have changed it since then. This son of a bitch was getting like 400 to 500.
They have. Ogre regen is absolutely broken, or was absolutely broken. It was to the point where I did a little calculation with that once just to see what it would look like. I took a 2,000 hit point berserker, which was pretty well the highest you could do for Zergs. I mean, 2,000 hit points in the Zerg is pretty fucking good. With max, well, just the ogre regen alone, because it takes how much hit points you have divided by your max hit points, and then it calculates some other stuff. But you would get 400 if you had 1 hit point left. You would get 400 back the next tick.
Ooh.
Just from the ogre regen alone. This is not including fast healing and regeneration and being slowed and sleeping and all that other good stuff.
Wow. Yeah, that's brutal, man.
Yeah, it is.
Good lord. Yeah, that's it's a bit much. I may play an ogre in the future, because I like I said, I played a healthy ogre berserker once, and the regeneration was something that I was shocked. I was shocked by how much it was.
The word you're looking for is egregious.
Yes, egregious amounts of HP. Just like fucking, like seriously, I was like all fucked up, and I'm like went to sleep, and I wake up, and I'm damn near full health. I'm talking about 600 HP a tick type thing. I'm like, this is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, who needs healing? I'm essentially a fucking ogre healer, that goes berserk. It's they have built-in pocket healers. They just go to bed and they're healed. They have a little magic healing fairy.
That and their additional hit points, racial hit points per level, they've effectively got a Vome that's not a Vome.
Yeah, that really, right. That really mitigates that whole magic damage thing. That's.
I mean,
that's
okay,
nuts.
you can kill the regen with various spells, plague and poison and stuff like that, but if they're not, and they can sleep through the tick,
Yeah.
hit points in the regen alone, I mean, it's effectively straight damage. It's not a Vome.
Jesus. So, like, how much do dwarves have you tested a dwarf out to see that? Because I mean, they have 25 con, so I would think they had really good HP regen. I've just never played one enough to
they do,
really
but
notice it.
I don't actually know. Well, see, that's the other thing. I mean, I haven't played around and actually taken a look to see what it directly relates to. But it's one of those things to where it's kind of, you won't see it unless you have a direct comparison. So you can have all the feeling in the world. You can sit there and you can play extensively test an ogre berserker, and sit there and say, okay, this is all this regen and it's great and all sorts of things, and this is what I get to it. And then you could jump over to a fair and you sit there and go, well, why am I not regenerating like I'm supposed to? And but because of this and this and this. But it's just one of those things to where you can get used to one thing, and when you go to test out another thing, it's completely gone, or it's completely off because you're expecting one thing, or trying to remember, oh, I had this much regen. No, you have the same regen between characters. Oh, it's just random numbers is fucking you over that one tick.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's always a dice roll beneath all of this stuff, right? Like there is a random number factor to it.
Yeah, which is also where luck comes into play for a lot of things too.
Does luck play that big of a deal in
Yes.
increasing those random numbers?
In increasing the random numbers, like mana gain per level and hit points per level, no.
I've always been told, and I've been told by some high up sources that I think may be wrong. That
Well, I was touting it too, and I double checked the code, and as far as the old code's concerned, it's not there. There is no luck check. There could be now, but there's no luck check there when I checked with what I have.
Yeah, because I was told, like, you got to get luck gear when you're leveling up if you want to get max HP gains, and I'm like, all right, so I was doing that. I mean, I haven't tested, I haven't done like testing on it,
That's right up there with the whole, you need to save your trains until you're 50, because if you burn your trains on hit points, the game will correct it back to median. No, it won't.
Yeah. So that's debunked. We can dispel that whole theory. That's not.
Yes, cast dispel bullshittery.
Yeah, because I was victim of that whole don't use your trains till 50 thing, literally until like maybe my last two characters.
A lot of people did until relatively recently. I'd say probably within the past 5 or 10 years. The whole luck thing has been more or less debunked and starting to propagate throughout the thing easily within the past 5 years only.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's just one of the things. You don't need luck. You don't need any of that stuff. You don't need to worry about saving your train. I do because it makes me feel better, but you don't have.
The stout perk. What that has a number on it. Like, is that you're getting a solid number per? What is it? I don't have the wiki pulled up with that on there. Is it that gives you more HP?
Yes, it shouldn't be more than. But I'm gonna have to save the rest of that for another day because I need to head out.
All right, yeah. And this will conclude our podcast. This will conclude our podcast for today. You guys, thanks for listening. I'd say click that like button, but fuck, I don't even know if there is one. If there is, go ahead and click it.
All right. Thanks. Out.
All right. See you guys. And we will catch you next time. Goodbye and have a wonderful day.